Once again, thank you for coming to our presentation today by Care to Prevent. I am Takesha. I will be presenting a presentation called Process of Grieving. Um, Next. The object of today is understanding what grieving is. Why do we grieve? The 7 stages of grief, unhealthy grieving processes, getting help to grieve, healing process of grieving. Next. Understanding what is grieving. Grieving is the pain that we feel after we lose something. Grieving is not just only the loss of a of loved one, but you can grieve for many reasons. It's the feeling that you get of something that you truly love. Oftentimes, grief is fulfilled with confusions or guilt. So most time, people that grieve, they have some type of guilt about their loss. No, every person has a different way of processing grieving. So I might process mine differently than my mom or my brothers and sisters. So everybody has a different way of processing grief. So your way is not a wrong way. One person might grieve a little bit more than others. It's okay that you everybody has a different way of grieving. No person has a time limit on how on when to grieve and how should they grieve. Next slide, please. Why do we grieve? We grieve for many reasons. We grieve because we want to hold on to the memories of something that we've lost and the times that was taken away from. So, reasons to grieve is a loved one has passed. Say like people that retires, or if you've been working at a place for such a long time, you feel some type of love towards your job, and to have to let it go, yes, you begin to grieve. So say like your finances, if your finances has took a turn for the worst, you see them saying, so you went from having a large amount of income and now you don't. Yes, you would grieve over that because your finances that would not be the same. Or if your home went into foreclosure, you didn't had your home for even, you might have just brought your home and had it for a year, or you had your home for 30 years. Then have to lose your home, you would grieve over. Your pets, my pet Apollo, my pit bull, is my baby. So to lose him, I will grieve over that because your pets are, you love your pets just like you love your family members. Relationship. So if a person got divorced or they've been in a relationship for so long, yes, you do grieve over that because these are things that you love. We oftentimes grieve for ourselves and the fact that our world has been turned upside down. So why are you grieving for yourself? Because things in your life is no longer the same. You feel some type of love for the things that you know that's not there anymore. You don't have an explanation to why these things has happened, so you grieve for yourself. Any form of change in your life can cause grief. It's the slightest things that you love and it's not the same for you, feel some type of loss for it. Next slide, please. Unhealthy grieving processes. Why do we need to talk about unhealthy grieving processes? Because unhealthy grieving process can lead to it can lead to many devastating things like severe depression and things like that. So when I say unhealthy grieving process, meaning avoidance grief is absent. You avoided feeling the pain. One thing that as human pain, feeling any type of emotions is natural. So when you typically avoid it, you refuse to deal with it, yes, that's unhealthy. Delay. Continue on with your day. You postpone your emotions, that you put your emotions on stop. You're not feeling nothing at all. You delayed it. Sometimes when you postpone these emotions, it might not happen right then and there, but it will happen years and years, or it can happen months down the line that the feelings of this emotions will come back. Prologue. Not seems to be getting over your pain or emotions. Like, so example of it, it's been 6 years and the pain is not getting better. You went to therapy, you tried these things and that, but the pain that you felt for this significant event that happened 6 or 7 years ago is still there. That same pain is still there. So it's unhealthy that you prolonging this and it's not getting any better. So it's not saying that you can't grieve over, but at some point in time that whatever event has caused you to grieve, naturally you will begin to process it and get it over with. But if out down the line 6, 7 to 30 years, you still holding on to that same painful clinch like it just happened yesterday, yes, that is unhealthy. Stuck, finding that you can't get past one emotions that you are feeling. We all go through emotion. Your emotion is in transitioning. Your emotions in transition. That's what I mean by stuck. The average person, we have a cluster of feelings. So today I might feel happy, I might feel sad, I might have these clustered up emotions that's going on. But if I'm stuck in this one feeling every day, just I'm just angry, angry, angry. I can't get past angry. That is unhealthy because you're a natural human. Your body, your emotions go through a cluster of emotions. So just to be stuck in one, I'm angry all the time for what has happened to me. Yeah, that is unhealthy. Next slide. The 7 stages of grief is denial. This is not true. This cannot be happening. This may be this you just feeling like this cannot be happening to you. Like, how can this happen to me? Why does it happen? Why did it happen to me? Not knowing that things in life happens to everyone in life. Guilty, feeling some sense of responsibility for what had happened. Like, I should have done this. I could have done this. This should have been done like this. This should have been done like that. But not understanding that we do not control the outcome of things, especially when it comes down to death or uh, your employment and stuff like that. Some things like that, we have to know that we don't have no control over those things. So we tend to feel guilty when we lose a loved one. We tend to feel guilty when we lose employment. We tend to feel guilty for a lot of things that we have no control over. Bargaining. I will give you this if this doesn't happen. That's bargaining. You don't want it to happen, so you're gonna bargain with something. Take this instead of this. Trying to bargain. Depression, a sudden sadness emotion. You weeping, feeling hopeless. So when you start to feel hopeless, that's you just feeling hopeless. The turning point. The turning point is when things are starting to look a little better. Like, and 6 months ago, I was angry, 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 angry. But I'm not as much angry as I was. You see what I'm saying? So that's the turning point. Rebuilding, getting back to yourself and taking care of your health and going back to your normal life. When you begin to rebuild after tragic, you start focusing on the good aspects of these things that's happened. So you no longer focus on what had happened 6 months ago or 6 years ago. You focusing on how you can do things differently today. So uh, that's a good thing when you started to rebuild. So after you rebuild, you notice you're starting to accept things a little bit more. You came to terms about the changes that has happened in your life. So when you come to accept what has happened in your life, you begin to process things and you begin to move on. Yes. Getting help to grieve. Why should you get help to grieve? Because grieving is a hurtful feeling, especially if you lost a loved one. Especially if you lost a loved one. I don't care if you are a doctor. I don't care if you're a therapist yourself. I don't care if you're a nurse. But knowing that losing a loved one is very painful. So being able to talk to somebody that can give you the support, not going through this tragic alone. You're supposed to talk to your friends, talk to your loved one. Take time out and take time out to put a pause or reset of things around you. So if you are the person that has delayed or delayed your grieving, right? You continue to go on with things and you're not stopping to deal with them. Put a pause and reset on things that's going around you and begin to take care of yourself. Because if you're not taking care of yourself, you're not giving your time to accept your emotions of the things that has going on in your life. If you're not a fan of going to therapy, you have some good support groups out here that can help you deal with grief. The point is finding some type of adequate support system to help you rebuild what has changed in your life.
Hey,
Next.
give me that.
The process of healing, right?
Put it back.
One thing you do not want to do is dismiss how you feel, not dismissing your emotions. Recognize that you have feelings and that it's hurt. It's okay to you feel angry and sad. Like my sister passed away in December. Hell yes, I was angry. I'm upset and I'm mad because that's my sister. You don't want your loved one to pass. You feeling hurt. You have the right to feel those emotions because something tragic has happened to you. So by dismissing your feelings,
Put it back.
you saying that
Put it back.
you saying that you shouldn't have these emotions and feelings. Uh, Keeping memories alive. Look at pictures and talk about good times. Right about now, we are in the transitions of getting ready for my sister's birthday. So talking about things about her, it gives us hope, and we look forward to better days. Giving yourself support. So being able to take care of yourself when you're at a point in life, you're so used to taking care of everybody else. Stop for at least 5 minutes. If you just give yourself 5 minutes out of the day, look in the mirror and take care of yourself. It might not be much just standing in the mirror, but you taking care of yourself, recognizing the things that you have going on with yourself. It's okay to tell people at some point in time, I can't do this. My mind is not there. My space is not there. I need to take time out for myself. Understanding your own feelings during grieving processes. So when you're grieving, should nobody tell you, oh, you are not crying, so that didn't hurt you. No, that's not true. Because just because I don't cry, it doesn't mean that I'm not grieving. I have different set of emotions than everybody else. You see what I'm saying? So can't nobody tell you how to feel at the particular time. You know how you feel. No, you don't have to be falling all over the floor. You grieve differently. Note that you feel differently than everybody else. And two, know the difference between depression and grief. They are the similar size that I'm sad, I'm depressed. But when you know that you're depressed because it's a prolonged, it's like you're not doing anything because it's a difference between grief and depression. It is. They might look similar, but depression is something told more deeper than grief. So, the resources that I have is, of course, Psychology Today and Mercy. And then there's another called medsbroadcast.com, BetterHelp, and help.com. So the main thing is we wanted to get people to understand about processing their feelings and getting help for grieving. You should never do anything these things alone, and always seek out help. Thank you for thank you for tuning in to our web video today.